Okay, hello. Dr. Rad Tutor here, and I had a subscriber who's getting ready to take their test for nursing dosage drug calculation and submitted a couple questions. I believe some of these questions are from registered nurse RN. Some of them might be from another quiz, but I was going to work through a few of these for the student, and then that way everyone can benefit and we can see what it looks like here. So the first set of questions, there were 10 questions worth 10 points each. So you'll see this set up here. We're going to start off with this question here that is a reconstitution type question. And the question says that the directions for reconstitution for meslocillin IV injection reads, for IV use, reconstitute with 30 milliliters sterile water for injection. So that usually is what's telling the pharmacy how much water to add to the powder in order to turn a powdered substance into a liquid substance that can either be injected or swallowed. Each 30 milliliters of reconstituted solution will contain 3 grams. That's an important piece of information. That tells me my relationship between grams and milliliters. So 3 grams for every 30 milliliters. The patient client has received 1.5 grams of meslocillin IV every 6 hours. How many milliliters would the nurse administer? So I actually already worked this out. And so I'm going to pull up my screen here. And as you can see, I took the order was 1.5 grams. The available was 3 grams per 30 milliliters. I took 1.5 grams and I multiplied by 30 over 3. And what I did is, using dimensional analysis, I knew that my grams needed to go down here so it could cancel them out. And then my milliliters would go up here. So since that's what I'm looking for, okay, so milliliters is what I was looking for. 1.5 times 30 is 45, divided by 3 gives me 15 mLs for that solution. Okay, let's look at the next question. Let's see here. All right, so this one says that the physician ordered 2,500 milliliters of normal saline to infuse 150 milliliters per hour with a drop factor of 15. How long will this IV run? Now, here's the question, or this is the interesting question. This doesn't say anything about how many, or I don't know if this is, because I saw 2 hours and 2.5 hours, or 2 hours, 0.5 minutes. Let's just see what the answer is. Okay, 16. So let's get to, okay, so for the minutes and time. So let's look at this together here. All right, so the reason I was balking a little bit is because I don't know if this is asking for milliliters per hour or if this is asking for drops per minute. But my guess is we're going to calculate how many hours and minutes this is infusing. So like this drop factor is extra information that we don't need to worry about to answer this question. But we can use these pieces of information in order to find out how many hours, and then I'll show you how to get to how many minutes as well. So we have a 2,500 milliliter IV, and it's infusing at 150 milliliters per hour. So if I'm looking for time and how long it's going to be running for, what I'm going to do is I'm going to express that relationship, and I'm going to take my infusion rate, the 150 ml, and relate it to my total IV solution. So I'm going to do 2,500 divided by 150. And when I do that, 2,500 divided by 150 ml, what I'm going to get is 16.666 repeating hours. Then the answer gives us hours and then minutes. Basically, you're supposed to put in the correct hours and minutes for this particular problem. So how do I get from 16.66 hours? How do I get that into minutes? So there's actually a way to do this. We know that 0.666 repeating is going to be a decimal relationship of 60 minutes. So let me just see something here because I want to make sure. Let me do a relationship here. Give me 1 second. Okay, so I had to think about this for a second, how I wanted to kind of explain this. So I'm going to do this in a roundabout way just to kind of see if we can get everything to work out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my original problem. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to calculate this down to the minute. And I'll show you why in just a second. So instead of 1 hour, I'm going to say 60 minutes. Okay, so I think we can all agree that 1 hour and 60 minutes are the same. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get hopefully a whole number of minutes, and that'll help me out with figuring out how many hours to do here. And then give me the exact minutes that I'm looking for. So we're going to try this out together. This is called figuring stuff out. So 2,500 times 60 divided by 150. Good, this is what I wanted. So that'll give me 1,000 minutes. Okay, so 1,000 minutes. So we already know that 16 hours is how many hours we have. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the 16 hours and I'm going to multiply that by 60 minutes. There's a method to this madness that I'm giving you. Some of these problems you won't necessarily have to spend this much time on to do this. So actually, I'm going to show you another way that I confirmed. I just wasn't sure. But you get 960 minutes with that. And that 960 minutes, 16 times 60 equals 960 minutes. You just now take 1,000 minus the 960, and you have 40 minutes remaining. That 40 minutes remaining is how many hours and how many minutes. So my answer would then be 16 hours and 40 minutes. Now I'm going to show you another way here. The other thing you could have just done here is taken that 0.6667 and multiply it by 60, and you would get like 39 point something, something, something. Let me just pull that up on my calculator here. So if I take 0.6667 times 60, you'll get 40.0002. So that would be your 40 minutes as well. So there's two ways to get to the 40 minutes if you needed to get to that point. So, all right, give me one. I'm going to come back to this.